Welcome back to Dirt Racing Rewind. Really wanted to thank everybody that's been supporting the channel. We're just about to our goal of 1,000 subs. We just hit about over 900 this week. Really wanted to thank everybody for your support. I thought we'd try something just a little bit different this week. I mean, we've been doing everything we can to find old videos, old races, dirt races, pavement races, whatever we can find and get them put up on the channel for you. But we're going to talk a little bit about the Southwestern National Open Championship for Midgets that was ran at Firebird International Raceway Park in 1984. And to kind of go along with that a little bit, we're going to talk a little bit about the history of Firebird. This was a track that was built, that didn't live very long, but it was built, started in 1983. I believe the first race was August 20th of 1983. This was this facility was a dream of my dad's. Together with a bunch of partners, they got together and helped build this facility. I remember spending a lot of time out there when I was a teenager helping put this track together, working out in the middle of the desert, digging fence posts, putting up grandstands. And we opened up in 83, and by 1984, Dad put together this Southwestern National Open Championship for Midgets. Had a $15,000 purse and brought out all the midget drivers from all over the Southwest. But as you can see here, so here's a little overview of what Firebird looked like in 1984. If you look at it now, it was, as you can see down at the bottom of the image, is the dirt track. If you pulled up a satellite image of this now, there's a pavement road course back in here. You can almost still make out what the circle track is when you look at it. But this was during a boat race in 1984. More than likely, I was probably somewhere in the water back there helping pull boats out of the water after they ran down the strip. But this midget race was put together. There was a lot of drivers here. John Zerby was one of the drivers that was at this race. I got just a few pictures here to put up. There was a lot of, let's turn off this webcam here. Mark Passarelli, Dave Cope, both Arizona Motorsports Hall of Fame drivers. Mark won a lot of championships. Leland McSpadden, the Great Tempe Tornado, was also there for this event. These pictures were taken during the event at Firebird. Also there was Tiger Gene Brown, one of the winningest drivers in Arizona racing history. All came out there for this event. But we're going to talk a little bit about Bob Williamson. Maybe not as well known of a name as Leland or Passarelli. But we're going to talk about an event that happened during this race with Bob Williamson. So on the first lap of his qualifying, Bob would go down into turn one and take a tumble. He would flip all the way down the front, halfway down the front straight, all into turn one, and he'd end up hung up in the fence. And as you can see, Bob's just hanging there. He's still in the car at this point, looking up at the stars. Got a guy up there trying to get to him, help him get out of the car. I remember somebody talking to Bob after this, and Bob said after the car stopped, he looked up and all he saw was stars, and he didn't know where the hell he was. He thought he was dead. Here you can see from this view how the car is hung up on that post. Now the thing about this is, as he got up there and tried to get Bob out of the car, you see he's still in the car right here. We didn't have anything that was reach high enough to pull this car off of the fence. We had an old boom truck, but nobody could get the dang thing running. So they actually left Bob's car hanging up on this fence during qualifying. He was one of the first cars out. And all the rest of the cars qualified while this car was still hanging up on the fence. And some of the drivers we talked to afterwards said that was the scariest thing they'd ever seen, coming down the front straightaway and here's a car hanging up on the fence. But here we are. We finally got the boom truck out. You can see Dad in the truck right there. Bunch of guys trying to get that car off the pole. I've told this story so many times over the years, and if it hadn't been for George Golick from Gig Photos sending me these old photos, I don't think a lot of people would believe the story. But here they are finally getting the car down off the fence. And this is probably, I mean, it was a great race. A lot of great drivers were at this show. But probably the one thing everybody talks about was Bob's car hanging up on that fence all the way through qualifying. By the time we got done with the race, it was a great Billy Schumann that would win the race. Here's a little article that was taken out of the newspaper after the event was over. Billy Schumann would win the race. Sadly, Billy passed away about 7 years ago now. But Dave Maines would take over the second position, and Jack Ailey would finish third in this race. So that's the story we have about the Southwest National Open Championship. A little bit about Firebird International Raceway. gonna try to put together some more stuff. I'm collecting a bunch of photos and video. I'm trying to find some. God, I died to find some videos of some races there. I know I had one at one time that actually had me racing figure eight. If I could just find it, I'd love to get it put up. But Firebird is something that I spent a lot of time there as a teenager, and a lot of memories. So I just wanted to share this one with you all. So thank you for taking the time to watch the channel. Again, thank you for all your support. If we can just get to that 1,000 subs, that's our goal right now. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and really appreciate you being here, and we'll see you again next time.